Edit. Ex-wife left for AP and returned after 10 years and asks to take her back. Thank you for such response. I have missed a lot of detail to tell you guys. First is that I have divorced her before marrying M. I think she don't know as she was nowhere to be located. Second is that I have written L instead of M by mistake. I had full custody of my son as X was nowhere in the picture, but now she is back, so I don't know if my full custody will be maintained or not. Also, my post has been removed, so I am putting original text here. Seeking advice on how to handle the situation. Me 34M, my ex-wife 35F, call her X, my neighbor AP, my neighbor's wife 37F, call her M. Me and my wife married in 2009. We had our baby in 2010. In November 2010, while she was asleep, a message pooped on her phone and was a flirty message. I checked on her phone and it was from our neighbor. I went through every single message, which included sexting, sharing nudes, and even had planned meet-ups at hotels. This was going on from the first week into our marriage. I felt like my world crumbled in front of me. I took screenshots of every message and saved on my phone. Next day I contacted M and let her know about the affair. They were married for 4 years and had their first baby almost exact same time as we had ours. I confronted my wife and told her that I am going to give her divorce. She started crying and everything else, but I did not consider it. I also did paternity test on our child, son, because the affair timeline was same as conception date. After 2 days, when I come home from work, our baby was crying in our bed and X was nowhere to be seen. Then I found a letter of her telling that she did not loved me and she had left with AP and to not contact them. I knew this was coming, but I didn't believe that a mother can leave her child, was about 6 months, alone and can run off with her lover. I then went to M's house. She had received same letter by her husband. I felt sorry for her as she was going from postpartum depression, had her baby just a few months ago and was left alone. Also, paternity test result came back and he was my son. I tried to contact X family, but they also didn't know where she was and was shocked by her behavior. Her father even said that if she ever came back she would not be allowed to enter their house. They basically disowned her. Elle was very supportive. She began coming to my home to watch kids and even breastfed both of them, her and mine. As time passed, we were like family. My son called her mom and had known only her as mom. We also decided to go on dates. We engaged a year later and married in 2013. We had our first child in 2015. We often discussed things about our exes and how we were often disrespected by them. We were happy family. In 2018, when my son accidentally saw a picture of my ex, picture after birth, so it included X, me and him, so we decided to tell him that her birth mother X had died in car accident years ago and L took care of him since he was 6 months old. 2 days ago, I received an anonymous email. I opened it and it read, "I want to see my son and want my family back. We are not divorced yet." I knew it was X. I showed this to LL, started freaking out and asked me if I would take her back. I calmed her down and told her that she was an ugly past and I would never leave you. I would never take her back. Now I am confused what to do. I will definitely not take her back, but should I let her meet my son or not? Should I take my son's opportunity to have connection with her birth mother? Absolutely not. She was toxic 10 years ago and obviously hasn't changed. She will end up hurting all of you so much more than she already had. No. Coming from a child abandoned by their mother who only showed up every 3 years because stepbrother's dad tried to convince her she needed to be part of my life. I've been in a family dynamic similar to this. In my experience, it would do more harm to your son than good. When he is 18 you can tell him the whole story and let him decide. As an adult, your ex made the decision to leave. If you truly did get a divorce, I would fight with everything I have to maintain custody. She left. You stayed. She's holding on to the past. You're building a new future. She is not going to be a part of your future story. When the time is right, you can give the choice to your son. If you do decide to let her see your son, I would have her go through your lawyers. You want to make sure you and your family are protected and that if she does see him, it's supervised and set up regularly so she's not coming into your son's life like a wrecking ball and causing him all kinds of grief and confusion. This is some heavy stuff. 1. Consult a lawyer that knows family matters from cover to cover. 2. She made a conscious decision to abandon her infant child to run off with AP, and now she wants back. Doesn't work that way. Telephone him the truth when he's old enough to understand and leave it up to him. You did the wrong thing saying X was dead to your son. If you don't remedy this, as he gets older he'll hate you for lying to him. He has the right to know a child-friendly explanation. He could have siblings he misses out on. Doubling down on a story most people correctly called obviously fake. Find a hobby, bro. How soon do you have to make this decision about telling your son? Can you contact a family counselor before them to help you decide? I mean, as a mother, if my spouse had left my crying baby alone, I would cut them out of our lives forever. But also, speaking as an adopted child, I think you should have told him the truth from the beginning. Kids can handle a lot more truth than people give them credit for. But since it's already been told, I would suggest talking to a counselor to see what advice they have. I would not want to be sat down at the age of 18 and told that my whole life was a lie. Why are your only comments defending the validity of your posts after getting called out in the first one? Your story was fake then and it's also fake now. How did you get married to M without divorcing X? This isn't relationship advice, it's our legal advice. Don't do it up. She only wants you now that her other options ended. Don't take her back, dude. No matter how good you think it might be, it will only be negative for you. Get the best lawyer that you can find. It may be expensive but it is worth it. Tell your son the truth immediately. While you say that she died in a car accident, tell him that was not truthful but she was essentially dead to the family because of her actions. Nothing good will come out of her being in your family's life. She lost her right to be his mother when she abandoned a 6-month-old. You posted the original today. When did you write L? I'm confused. You might want to consult a lawyer. 'Cause she did abounded her 6-month-old in a house alone without knowing when you be home or even come home that night. She could still be arrested. In some cases like this just that letter would be enough for a court to terminate her rights. You do need to tell your son the truth, the whole truth, so he can make the decision if he wants to meet her now or ever. Tell her she's got 10 years of child support to pay. You don't owe her visitation. She hasn't earned it. IDK if the courts would enforce it. I would let her pay a lawyer to fight for it. She has nothing. She abandoned a 6-month-old baby. I say, keep her away. I also think it was very wrong to have lied about his mother. You could have even said that you'd talk about it more when the kids are a bit older. Lying always comes back to haunt you. Regardless, you tried to do what you thought best. Hopefully everything works out. Glad you're not taking her back. Keep her out of your son's life. He doesn't deserve that. Now, I do think he should be given a choice, and the courts may agree, unless she's proven a bad parent perhaps. I'd talk to a good lawyer about it honestly. So glad you and L have each other and a family. L is the child's mother the same as you are her child's father. Neither one has a claim and wherever you live I'm pretty sure the laws would agree. Tell your ex to F off X 1000. No judge in their right mind would give custody to woman who left her baby alone. Do you have a report of that incident? If so, use it in court. Get a lawyer and do not respond to any emails. Up to your son if he wants to see his mother. You need to sit down and tell him the truth with your wife. Then if your son wants to meet her then you can proceed, but only after you consult a lawyer. Do nothing until you have legal rep. I would ask someone like a lawyer whether your marriage is even still in effect after 10 years abandonment and remarriage. But with that aside, I might personally want to keep her away, knowing that my son would find out one day and be horrified. Because the flip side has a lot of risks. This is one of the most fucked up ones I've read here and I am truly sorry. If this is real, why would you even consider taking a woman back who cheated on you? Then left you and your child? I don't understand why people even question these decisions, like read the title of my dude. Would you like an ex-wife who left come back? Didn't you post this same thing a couple of hours before? Why is it that when someone is looking for advice in regards to relationships, you just come in and talk about feminism and politics? The birth mother left the child 10 years ago to go love her own neighbor. Not to mention the neighbor was already married. They decided to run away together and leave Op and M to raise the children by themselves. I'm happy for Op and M for finding love in each other and getting to raise 3 beautiful children together. Even getting through a rough time in their lives together. So Op, you should not let that woman come into your life together with them and ruin it. Also, you should ask your lawyer to see what can be done. I sincerely hope for the best for you and M. I just wanted to comment that it should be illegal to use these annoying shortenings that literally do not improve anyone's experience at all. Lying to your kid is the worst. He already lost a parent who abandoned him and now he can't trust the ones he has always viewed as his mom and dad. Poor kid. Go after her for child abandonment. She won't be able to get custody. She left a baby on a bed, not even a crib, alone. She should have been arrested. Lawyer up and do whatever they say. Glad you betrayed spouses found happiness with each other. Me 34M, my ex-wife 35F, call her X, my neighbor AP, my neighbor's wife 37F, call her M. We are not divorced yet. I knew it was X. I showed this to LL, started freaking out and asked me if I would take her back. Op, I have to assume L is actually M. Should I let son meet up with bio mum? Yes, he'll find out one day and you can't deny son or X right to meet, but do tell son the truth. Take care. Agree with the advice to run everything through a lawyer. Don't even bother interacting with her. It will only produce heartache. Get a lawyer. If you legally have full custody, you can destroy this person, and frankly, I think you should destroy her. Eventually you need to tell your son the truth. It will get out eventually, and if you're not the one who tells him, his faith and trust in you will be horribly damaged, possibly beyond repair. As a side note, if you ever wanted a golden opportunity for revenge, it just sent you a letter. You have to tell the truth to your son and emphasize that she left him to run off with her lover. You also need to get the best lawyer you can find to help you with legalities and protect your family. Mate, if she ever come around, contact a lawyer. Lawyer up, my friend. Both L and you. That email is gonna be followed by bad news, because an ex-partner reappearing 10 years later can only be that she is desperate and looking to create trouble. I also recommend a child psychologist for the children, because although you meant well, there is some explaining to do, and it will be best that your son hears it from you. Good luck. Take legal steps to protect your family, but tell your child the truth. You need to be the source of trust for him. He is not protected with lies. I would not respond to anonymous email. But she may not go away. It seems like you are going to need a lawyer, so you might as well get one now to advise you what to do, so you do it right. And the lawyer may decide if you should ignore or if you should send legal notice to her. You must be ready with what to do in case she shows up on your doorstep. You might need legal papers in hand. Don't even respond. I'm sorry you have gone through this, Op. First of all, please, you and M need to be calm. There's a chance this email is a prank or something like this. Can be someone messing with you and wife. But if not, if is your ex, you and M have no reason to fear. Your wife left you and your son for 10 years. You have custody, you've divorced and remarried, you have enough proof to make ex-wife never be able to regain custody or be a part of your lives again. I think you should consult with a family law attorney, and after this send a message back to your ex, or the person behind the email. You can be the bigger person and try talk things, or just tell her to fuck off. She has no power to take your family away from you. Everything is going to be alright. She is still a bitch that wants to manipulate you and do whatever she wants, discarding your feelings. TBH, she sounds like a total psycho. Do not ever meet her again. I would do that. She's not a mother, but a monster who left her child alone at home, for her to enjoy her honeymoon. If you have custody of the kid, that can't simply be revoked or taken away by the ex simply showing up. That's not how that works. If you have custody, the only way for her to do anything about that is by going to court, but since she has done nothing to show that she even cares about the kid for 10 years, she will lose. She didn't do nothing for 10 years. She ignored both you and your child for 10 years. Actions speak louder than words. Especially 10 years of actively ignoring you. LMAO, this is the plot to the curious incident of the dog in the nighttime. Why would you lie to your child about their birth mother? That's totally fucked up and will come back to haunt you. IDK, but it would have been good if you have been honest to the kids, especially since you had no reason to suspect the people were dead. You know they act erratically, so it's not a surprise she came back. I feel you need legal advice and psychological advice about how to tell your child the truth about mother abandoning and not being dead. Update. Don't take her back and hire a lawyer ASAP. His other mom is the real mom, she is not. If you want to answer, then you can answer her that you have a divorce in absentia, which is true, and that you have all rights to the son as stated by law, and she was never and never will be family, and if she might have a son, but not your son as he's not hers. Preceding this, you can arrange papers to have your wife and you legally adopt both children, so other people have no rights. That depends on where you live, but ask your lawyer. No matter what you do, go to your lawyer. Have him tell you how you can do to protect your and your both children's interests. As she came back, he can come back too, so include your wife in the visit to the lawyer. There is no connection from son to birth mother, she is a stranger to him. You and your wife should legally adopt each other's children if you haven't already. That way, if something happens to one of you, the other has the clearest legal right to keep the children and make all the decisions for them. This will also weaken the rights of the birth parents who abandon the children, or even get rid of their rights completely, depending on your local legal system. Had a chuckle at message pooped on her phone. I would take it to court and let a judge decide. Most judges don't like absent parents that abandon their infant kids at 6 mo.